Teresa, Samuel, and then Joshua. I hope you can hear me. Okay, good. So now in the next 1 hour, maybe 1 hour, 15 minutes, we've prepared a very interesting dialogue about green jobs and green career. And I think it's fitting, maybe to start with the first question. I would like to ask each speakers to introduce yourself and then say a few words about your current job, including what position you are in, which company, what's your major responsibility. And I think if you can also say a few words very briefly about your career development. So maybe your current job is not your first job. And so how did you move from one job to another in the career pathway? And I think that's something I'm sure our audience will be interested to know. So maybe I will start with Charles.
Hi everyone. I'm Charles. I currently is working at Shunda Holding Limited, which is a listed company in Hong Kong. Our businesses is both in the conglomerate, and which is our major business is in real estate developer. And my position is sustainability officer, and my working experience is like 4.5 years from my graduation. And I come from construction contractor side from my very beginning of my first job. Then I moved to the real estate developer for the client size after 3 years for my first job, which I prepared for growth transfer. And my academic background is my first degree is in Bachelor of Social Science in Global and Environmental Studies, and minor in Sustainability Studies at the Education University of Hong Kong. And then I studied my second bachelor degree in Building Services Engineering. Then I completed another master degree in Environmental Engineering and Management at the Hong Kong University of Science and Technologies. After I worked like 2 years. Then now my major responsibility in my current job is doing the ESG reporting for my corporate, and also optimizing the ESG rating performance for my company in the global ESG rating system like MSCI from JP Morgan, the Morningstar Sustainalytics, and also the Hang Seng indexes, sustainability benchmarking indexes. Also doing some climate change or decarbonization roadmap and policy making and strategy planning, which is my major responsibility right now. So my sharing is this point.
Thank you, Charles. Now, so using the market jargon, Charles is an in-house staff of it's a listed company, right?
Yeah, listed company.
So it's in-house. Now, because when I'm sure, number one, why you are being attracted to this career talk is green jobs is becoming very fashionable and important. But then under green jobs, there are different roles and positions, and that which require different backgrounds and knowledge. So today you will have a chance to actually listen to professionals coming from different sectors and playing different roles. So we have Charles starting as an in-house. Okay, maybe I move on to Edmund. Edmund will play a slightly different role, I think.
Right. Totally different. I kind of never worked in-house, but I started in the environmental industry, just like all of us here from school. I started as an environmental engineering undergrad, and then here at HKU as an environmental management degree. And then I'm currently still a student. I am at Harvard Extension School doing business management. And what concerns me is I see that there's a need to do in such a multidisciplinary world. And I worked in 2 tracks, so slightly a little different. The first track is acoustic engineering. That's what I started as I first graduated. I became a consultant to design buildings, just like you can see in this room as a lecture hall. It's totally different from a secondary school classroom. But why? That's the technical aspects I wanted to do. I started researching undergrad, and then I did a couple of years of consulting there. And then I also become an on-site engineer. I'm currently a sound engineer at my church. That's Kaoyan Church, very close to here. Have different venues. Each of them are more than like 400 people size, and I do the controlling and engineering of the services once every month. And then my second track is to do waste management because it's definitely a pressing issue. And thanks for doing dissertation in the program or the project, capstone project now. So I started to develop another track that I work on food waste. And right now my position, my full-time job at Productivity Council is the Recycling Fund Secretariat Service for the government. And my focus is of course on food waste recycling because of my background. And I do fundings with residential, so if you are anyone have some kind of relationship with the owners committee, or you care about where you live and you care about the August 1st waste charging, that's something we can also talk about. But so I say that my development is in 2 tracks, and I try to maintain them kind of a balance so I can develop it all over the time. But the different thing is I'm not really an in-house, but mainly I work as more like a consultant to help the government or help my currently my applicants or grantees running environmental projects.
Thank you, Evan. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. So Hong Kong Productivity Council is it a public body or is it a semi-government body?
It's called a public body, so kind of we are also a public servant, but not exactly the civil servant in the government.
Okay, thank you, Evan. Now moving to Teresa. Now Teresa, I think you are from NGO, right? The foundation.
Yes. Hello, I'm Teresa. I think my role in EMAHK has already been introduced by Simon, so I don't need to repeat. My full-time job is a senior project manager of the Hong Kong Countryside Foundation. I think not many people know about this organization. My organization actually is a registered charitable organization, and we, I would say, our vision is on the conservation of the natural and cultural assets of the Hong Kong countryside. And I think some of you may know Lai Chi Wo Chun, which is actually the first project in Lai Chi Wo. That time I joined this organization. Also I would say my career change because I worked actually in the private sector, in the business sector for years, which has nothing to do with the environment or conservation. But I'm actually I'm interested in the environment and conservation. So I've been considering the switch of career when I started to make a career break and then join as a volunteer with WWF because I never worked for NGO before. And then I decided that I want to devote more my career path to switch to the environments, and I took the MSc degree in management at Hong Kong U. After that, I have an opportunity to work for the first project in Lychee War, which is already 10 years ago. And that's actually a very different job from my previous. But my previous job as also need to deal with people, meeting professors in universities and also librarians. That's why I think in certain way that also helped my new job in the village revitalization, because when you go to a deserted village where you want to so-called we start to engage people, you need to be I won't say I need to be very talkative, but you need to meet different people and start with different subjects that you can have a conversation. And it takes actually long time to build up relationship with people, and also to understand their concerns, and also well and I also have a different perspective on the indigenous people of Hong Kong, because from the news I don't need to. Certain people have a very stereotype of in the local villages, but actually in real life, you meet many of them with different concerns, and also they also have a very intricate relationship with their own home village. So not to say that now actually I'm managing projects in Lychee War. Most of these projects are government funded or maybe other private funded. But in the daily life, actually, I have to do a lot of office work, so to say. You have to write reports, answer inquiries, to be accountable for the deliverables which we promise. For example, right now we have a management agreement project in Lychee War, which is actually we have conservation targets. I have to deal not only with the stakeholder engagement, but I also have on-site project staff which have to do farming works, and at the same time to meet the conservation targets. It's very complicated. Sometimes I also find it very hard to answer questions of my mom, what you are doing every day. I would say it's not easy to explain my work in just a few words, but if you're interested, please feel free to come forward and I can answer more questions for you. But it is actually very, I would say you can't plan very well ahead, because when you work with people, you have to be very dynamic, and sometimes you can follow your plan, but a lot of the times you can't. Then you have to adapt. Okay, I think I'm talking too much already.
No, that's okay. That's okay. You are actually answering the second and third questions, but that's okay. Samuel, I know you're now working as in-house, but before, of course, you also work as a consultant. So it's a very interesting pathway, or maybe a standard or typical pathway. So why don't you say a few words about your job and also your background?
Sure. Can you hear me clearly? Yeah. So yeah, because I don't really want to hear my voice like that. So I'm Samuel. I'm also a committee member of EMAHK. To start my journey, in fact, I studied in chemical and environmental engineering in Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. But in fact, I stayed 7 years in that university because I did my second degree there, working on research that focusing on heavy metal contaminated wastewater treatment. But after that, I also continue my research journey in Israel, I stayed there for 2 years for my postdoctoral research of membrane process. So maybe you know that Israel is quite famous these days, but at that time it was quite safe. So, and I also enjoyed that 2 years there. If you want to know more stories there, just come to me. But after research, I also work in like 5 different organizations already, including NGO, Green Building Council, Research Institute located in Science Park, and then also consultancy, different consultancy like corporate sustainability strategy or engineering firms. But now I'm working in a listed company, a corporate, working as a sustainability manager. So somehow like Charles, that we are handling sustainability reporting. Of course, this is a peak season right now because you know that's the financial year of Hong Kong, usually like starting from April or end with this period. So we are in fact quite busy at this period, right? But if you ask about the working style, don't ask at this period because typically many old time work, but normally I think it's pretty good. And the major responsibility for now, like what Charles just mentioned, apart from sustainability reporting, we also need to work on different projects because nowadays we heard about a lot climate change, net zero targets, carbon neutrality, all these topics we need to cater. Especially in a company, in fact, there are so many different departments. It depends on our corporate business model. For example, maybe it's usually we can find real estate company in Hong Kong that working in this area, but usually for real estate company, they're also quite diverse. For example, in my corporate, we have a very strong hospitality arm. So we need to cater how hotels look into sustainability. So what they care about, for example, we need to care about waste. Because if you stay in hotel, you know so many waste that, especially food waste. But what others? We can't really control our guests, right? So this is also some initiatives, some programs we need to design to help our company to achieve some net zero or climate change initiatives. And some current projects I'm working on, like climate impacts or climate risk analysis. Because maybe you also heard about the terms TCFD, about the Task Force Climate Related Financial Disclosure, right? So we also need to prepare for our company how they address this kind of reporting requirements and also how to address this really climate impact coming to our portfolio. So apart from all this, if you want to know more about how I switch from a researcher to a consultant or to a corporate reporting or financial related statements that kind of work, yeah, you can also come to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel. So we have Charles and Samuel working right now a lot on ESG. So I know this is a hot topic. But other than ESG, actually green building is another very important piece in Hong Kong when it comes to environmental management and also decarbonization. So we have Joshua from Beam Society. Joshua, over to you.
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay. Hello, I'm Joshua from Beam Society Limited. I also study environmental engineering as my bachelor and master degree in Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. So for those who may not know well about Beam Society, it is a public body in Hong Kong and it's also an assessment body. Beam Society is responsible for administrating and development of BIMPAS assessment tools. So BIMPAS, if you know, is a green building rating system. So it composes of many green building attributes, for example, the selection of site, the energy use, the water use or material selection, etc. And also health and well-being inside building is also one of the important elements in green buildings. So throughout the years, our society has developed multiple assessment tools for different kinds of buildings. For example, new buildings, existing building, or currently we just developed the tools for existing school. So you may access to our website. You can find many information about our current development of assessment tool. So my position in this organization is senior technical executive. So I'm responsible for technical reviews on the assessment materials submitted by the applicants, and also I need to overseeing the implementations of the assessment process in accordance with our internal guidelines and procedures. While prior to joining BIM Society, I was a consultant in multi-engineering discipline engineering consultancy firms. I was in charge of project management of green building projects and some environmental assessment projects as well. So also I was acting as an analyst to perform various kinds of modeling work such as energy modeling, daylight modeling or analysis, etc. So that's it. Right?
Okay, thank you, Joshua. So this is the first round of questions. Now, before we move on to the second question, I would like to have a show of hands from the audience. How many of you are studying undergraduate on environmental related issues? Can you raise your hands? Okay, and what about postgraduate? Any graduates already? No? Okay. Okay, so we have a lot of young people here, that's good. Okay, now second question. Now hopefully we will slowly get into some of the interesting part of the conversation. Now, what got you into the green industry or environmental sector in the first place? What keep you motivated? And what are the qualifications? I'm sure you, for those from the floor, the audience, you will be interested to know what qualifications are required to either enter or stay in the industry or in your field. Okay? I would like to start with Anna.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, as I'm getting my notes on. It actually varies about how to get into the industry because, as I said, it's a multidisciplinary field. Which means it's multidisciplinary kind of companies. So different sectors have different kinds of requirements. And a note to add is I should not forget to say that I was the spokesperson of the Green Earth, the local NGO. I worked on it for 3.5 years, and I was kindly reminded that I must talk about that experience too today. So I should not miss that. For the Green Earth, it's actually quite easy to or I would say for green groups in Hong Kong, it's actually quite easy to get into. Number one, when I was undergrad at PolyU for environmental engineering, and first year, of course, is actually doing very fundamental courses, but I could already get an internship there. And I also worked on food waste problems back then. And after that, I worked 5 years as a consultant, and then at some point I decided to change to a more pressing issue in Hong Kong, which is waste and noise. In my mind that time, and they will recruit me. And even I got some colleagues that actually did not have any environmental background, but of course they have the heart to serve, and they concerned about the non-profit industry in Hong Kong, and they want to be a part of it. Actually, it's okay to do on-job training. And the technical requirements in the green group about environmental knowledge is actually lower than the other few sectors. What green group stands out is they know the latest trend, they know the latest news, even they have the access to talk to government officials individually, so they will know something earlier than the others. And somehow they have the function to put the knowledge or skills or the vision from government or from the larger world into a locally to try to work on it. So communication or personality is more like the important part if you want to work in a green group. And of course, if you have a good training like from Hong Kong U, you have good connection like with EMAHK is definitely very good. And then for consultants, the degree is it's kind of important because say if I was working in era back then, ESG wasn't the buzzword yet. Not even ESG consulting job, it was very rare. But like most of my classmates at PolyU, 40-something students, like 90% gets into EIA or EIA related jobs. So at that time, an engineering degree or the degree that focused the curriculum on EIA so much would be very important because maybe you can't even pass the written test back then. The written test could be a survey about the system or about they ask you to do if I was applying for noise and acoustics, so I need to do noise calculations within the half an hour in the written test. So that's the essential part of it. And also, and for now, another job for doing a government secretariat is also another thing. It's more about the administrative and business sense. That's why my other degree couples the impact here. So it's another, or again, another set of skills. And that's also, yeah, I would say it's pretty diverse, but always my tips is to focus on what you have in hand and try to do networking, and the job comes to you. I think that's the tip.
I think that's a very good tip. Teresa.
I think well, in my school days, environmental studies and environment management aren't even in the university program at that time. And for myself, because I like hiking and I love nature, even though my first degree is in biochemistry, but as I said, I always watch out news about the environment. Also because of my science training, I'm very interested in those news about environmental pollution, toxicity, that kind of things. And I still remember that I think I started to adopt a dolphin at that time when the new airport was being built. That WWF had a dolphin program, and then when I joined WWF as a member, then I received a lot of news about the nature conservation, and also since I joined the dolphin program, I also joined the sea trip to watch the pink dolphins. So then, although that time I was busy in my career in the business sector, but still, from time to time, I like to read about conservation, news about conservation, not just about the animals, but also even cultural heritage. I'm also a kind of backward. I'm also interested in architecture and all kind of things. And also that's why when I graduated from the MSc program, Dr. Winnie Law asked me whether I'm interested to join the Hong Kong Countryside Foundation actually that time when they had the first project in Nanchu, I'm the only staff. I'm the only staff, so I have a lot of freedom, but at the same time I have to do a lot of work, not just on the project, but at the same time managing an NGO. I think some of you may have experience, especially for me, I work in small companies, so I'm very multitask. And that's why I have a lot of exposure. And you'll find that when you work for the environment, you need all kind of skills, and you also need to know how to manipulate with the skills and also knowledge, and also at the same time keep learning, because nowadays information changes very fast, and people minds as well. and then you have to keep pace with the society and the government.
I think Teresa made a very good point. She mentioned your background. So it's because there's so many new information about environmental issues every day, and you need to be up to speed from time to time to really understand what's going on. And because some of these information or new knowledge are very much related to your job. Samuel.
Yeah. I want to respond to the qualification first. I want to share a story that when I aimed to find a new job, I try to send like as many CV as you can usually, and when I really got a chance to have an interview, and the interviewer really discussed with me, and a very interesting discussion at the end, because he discussed with me what exactly you want to do, and he gave me a suggestion. If in fact you are not really suitable for our company, but if you want to go into something related to building, learn BIMPAS, be a BIMPO. And then another thing, if you want to work in a corporate, study GRI. That's something define your path. But is that really the case? Not exactly, because when I try to look for jobs at the another chance, that I found that I have 3 different offers at that time. One from a youth development organization. Another one about a plant operation, so very technical engineering related. And the other one is corporate sustainability consultancy. That's what I picked at last. But how I build up this kind of diverse opportunity for myself through voluntary job. Just like what we are doing now. But why is it like this? Because if you limit by your qualification, your degree, that's how you limit yourself. But you can experience or expose yourself to different things through different channels. EMAHK, of course, one of it. But of course, I also volunteer for some like youth development program, be a mentor for secondary students. That's why I have a chance to become a youth development like officer or something like that in that organization at that time. But still, I continue this kind of capacity building or what voluntary experience that I can enjoy. So I still keep working as a mentor for like undergraduate or secondary students. So for qualification, I think first of all you need to define your aim, your goal, or which kind of industry or sector you are more interested in. Like what I just shared, like corporate, NGO, or even academic research. That's also related to environmental management. Like what you see from our committee list, like we have professors, we also have different doctors that in our community as advisors, right? And on the other side, if you want to really keep in this industry, like what Teresa or other peers mentioned, curiosity and keep learning. So you can try different things and update yourself to keep up with the trend. Especially like what you also know that climate change is like now and also keep changing. So we also need to keep change to keep pace with the climate. So for why I need to stay in this industry, I think kind of like a mission for ourselves. Of course, we are not like a hero or any power, right, to change the world. But at least I think what we are doing now can change a bit, and not just change through our job or our daily tasks, but also through networking. Because we want this concept to share with each other and pick others' mind to see what else we need to do, or maybe different people can work out their parts and really make the change. If we just do a little part, maybe quite small, but we can do it together.
Thank you, very good. Joshua.
Yeah, Yes, I agree very much. Yes, I think the environmental protections, everyone has a role to play actually. So I can remember in my university study, I was actually shift my stream of study because I was originally engaged as a chemical engineer. Chemical engineering, yes, in vaccine. So I've then shift my stream to chemical and environmental engineering.
Really?
Yeah.
Same program.
So that's because that's about 10 years ago, it's really in my mind that the environmental protection is matters of everyone. That it's not just the or some EPD staff or the government, the environmental bureau, etc. It's actually the problem of every one of us. So you can actually feel the impact of climate change, like we just experienced heavy rainfall just some months ago. Yes. Well, I would also like to share some about the credential that a BIM society which can provide is if we just mentioned about BIMPO, but BIMPO you may need sort of 5 years of working postgrad experience. So for suitable for fresh graduate, you may consider BIM affiliate. Yes, BIM affiliate is suitable for fresh graduate as well. The entry requirement is if you can have high diploma or above for a subject in built environment, you can already meet the entry requirement. So BIM affiliate is the pivot to BIMPO, so you can be a BIM affiliate. But if I will say if you can have this credential, so if you can apply the job in our company, this will definitely hit this an advantages. So when I look in the CV, if I see a student, a candidate with BIM affiliate or the one without this credential, so I maybe choose that one first. So you may consider this BIM affiliate because you may take the training and pass the exam, you can probably get the credential. So yes, that's what I want to share.
Thank you, Joshua. Charles?